Hey guys, what's up? It's Alex or Nuznuz here, and today's video is going to be a bit of a different one than I usually do, but I did want to see just how much money I could make killing bots in RuneScape 3. Now, we all know in old school RuneScape there's tons of different bot farms, and I'm sure you've seen all the videos of people killing them. There's tons and tons of different ways that people can kill bots in old school, and there's also PvP worlds in old school, which means there's way more places to find bots, and bots can basically do anything in the game in a PvP world, and players can also come kill them. In old school OSRS, there's also way more things to bot in the wilderness compared to RuneScape 3. But in RuneScape 3, wilderness bots are just very scarce in terms of different types. There's really only one type of bot in the wilderness in RuneScape 3, and that is the Cursed Energy Divination bots. Now, these bots are all over the place, and basically what they do is they just harvest cursed energy, and then when they get to a certain point of cursed energy, they'll find the banker in the wilderness and bank them. Now, back in the day, people used to make low-level accounts to kill these bots. However, Jagex released a new update in September of 2017, which made it so carrying cursed energy or memories will prevent the player from teleporting, and it will also ignore the wilderness level restriction. That means anyone can attack you. This means that if I go into the wilderness, I can kill anyone carrying cursed energy, whether they're level 3 or max combat. I decided I would try to kill these bots for 1 hour to see just how much money I could make, and I also wanted to see if I ran into any PKers as well. So we're going to start a timer for an hour and let's see how it goes. So starting out, my basic strategy was to sit at the cursed energy and just top worlds. Now, this worked pretty well as I could quickly go through as many worlds as possible and just instantly attack someone when I logged in. What I started to find was a lot of bots I killed ended up having only around 20 to 50 energy, which in the grand scheme of things is not much at all. Now, my theory is they would bank at a very low amount, like 250 energy or so, and then they would run back and do this over and over again, so dying wouldn't really set them back too much, although they would spend longer banking. But I ended up actually finding some bots that dropped a decent amount of energy. In terms of how many bots there was actually way more than I expected. I didn't have to hop too much to find bots, and sometimes I would have the same bots just come back into the same world that I just killed them in. In terms of real players, it was hard for me to tell as I attacked basically everyone because I wasn't going to be like, hey, are you a bot? Oh, you're not? Okay, let me attack you. I was just attacking anyone I saw. Only a few instances I had people talk back that weren't bots, but most of the time I'm pretty sure everyone was bots. There were a few Iron Men, however, but more likely most people were bots or were just AFK not paying attention. It is the wilderness though, so I don't really feel bad about it because, these people could easily go and do incandescent energy to get pretty much near the same amount of energy, maybe a little bit less, but they decided to go in the wilderness and risk it, so I didn't really feel bad about anyone I killed. But yeah, most of the people, I would say 80 to 90% were bots, and that was basically all. So as you can see here, I ended up logging in and finding a huge bot farm. They were all on the same exact sprite, and it was just, when I right clicked, I kind of like panicked and was like, why are there so many people? And I think maybe one or two of them weren't bots. But it's hard to tell because they all kind of started moving away and running away, and then they kind of just stood still. As you can see here, like a bunch of these guys, there were a lot of them actually had divination capes. Like there were like 4 or 5 of them with 99 divination, and a lot of them ended up just standing still. As you can see, there's a few guys just doing absolutely nothing. So my theory is either this is just a pretty big bot farm, or it's a person, a gold farmer on multiple accounts, because it kind of looked like I'm not sure. It looked like he was trying to run away with all the bots, but as you can see there, a lot just stood still and did nothing, like the guy in front of me. And then a few logged out, and then a few just stood there and did nothing, like I said. And I ended up killing actually like 4 or 5 of these guys, but I was just like freaking out at the time because I was like, why are there so many? At first, when I first killed all these guys, I was 100% sure they were bots, but looking back on it, I'm honestly not sure. I definitely don't think it was like a clan or anything. I think it's either a bot or a gold farmer, because just the way they were moving, at first they seemed to like surge away, but then it seemed like the guy, if there was a guy playing on all the accounts, he started to get overwhelmed and just sat there on a lot of them. So it's really hard to tell, but I ended up getting a ton of energy from these guys. I think I got over 2,000 energy. And keep in mind, killing these guys took me like, I don't know, 30 seconds. To kill all these bots. I think I ended up getting 3 or 4, and I think there was around like 8 to 10, so there was quite a few, but this was by far the biggest farm of bots I found, and but we actually end up finding a bit more, so we'll get into that, but this was just a pretty crazy experience. So in terms of PKers, I really only ran into one, and I had logged in, and this guy came running at me. I didn't really get a good look at him, but looking back at the clip, it looked like he was in melee, which isn't too scary, but looks like he may have been doing the same thing as me, but it was weird that he was just sitting there. But I ended up kind of getting a gap on him here. He did surge to me, though. I'm not sure if he barges me. I don't think he does. But I end up just trying to get the log out because I'm in ranged. I have Globetrotter, so I really didn't think that I had much of a chance of killing this guy because he had the combat triangle on me. So I actually ended up just running away, and the demon attacked me here, which sucked because I could have logged out. But I basically just go through the entrance here, and I end up actually getting a log out on this guy. So not too bad there. I did have a decent amount of energy, so I didn't want to die. But we ended up running into one more guy after this. I then ended up running into another guy who attacked me. Now, this guy didn't look too strong, so I decided to fight back, as it didn't really seem like he knew what he was doing. I think he may have been killing bots the same as me because he was skulled, but he did have like normal prayers and stuff, no curses or anything, and he didn't really seem like he knew what to do when it came to PKing. So I basically just used like snipe on him to drop his prayer, and then I used like tendrils, and he was honestly pretty easy to kill. But in terms of loot, he really didn't have anything. I think he was just using like D-hide, and he had like a black salamander and some shark. So really nothing from him, but did kill a bot as well. I got a few hundred energy after I killed him. But yeah, these were the only 2 guys I ran into. But hey, we did end up killing somebody, but I think this guy was just killing bots because why else would you have a black salamander? Alright guys, so after the hour was up, in total we ended up making a whopping 6.3 million GP. We got over 12,000 cursed energy, and I also got 600 pale energy because I think someone I killed was actually converting them. But all in all, this seemed honestly pretty decent of a method to make some cash. And also you can have a little fun because I honestly had a blast doing this. And at the same time, you're helping the game by taking out bots. So I highly recommend to everyone to try this if you're ever bored or want to make a little cash. I'm honestly still curious though, and wondering if that big bot farm that I killed was actually a bot farm or a gold farm or something else. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. But that's going to do it for this video. Make sure you leave a like down below and subscribe if you want a ton more RS3 content. And I will see you guys in the next video.